Hello, everyone. We are back, and we are
Worse than ever.
less effort. This is Effortless. I'm your host today, Mr. Piddle. With me, Dr. Spiegel.
Woohoo, yay. All right. Hey.
And, we have to put less effort into this because we're trying too hard right now. We have restarted the show going on 7 times.
For what it's worth, it's not necessarily our fault because it's all been technical difficulties and my cat's fighting, and I think I hear another jet off in the distance right now. So we'll see what happens right now.
Yes. Spiegel is playing Top Gun as we do this episode. So if you hear any jets, that's just him. I don't know.
Top Gun Hard Lock, 1 out of 5. Just kidding.
And later we're going to go to the beach and play some beach volleyball, even though it's pretty cold outside.
Also, Dead or Alive Extreme 3 is not coming to the United States, but the games are not region locked.
How dare they?
They're not region locked on
they?
Vita, so you can buy them from Japan and have them shipped to America, and then you can do all your perverted little things, you creepy weirdos.
And try to navigate all those menus in Japanese.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Which is quite the nightmare. So, we have a not very full schedule today. Now that we are done with our top 50 games of all time.
The show's already over. We're done. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Go home. Bye.
Yeah. All right, bye.
No, we still have some stuff to talk about, right?
No.
Right?
Okay.
Like, what did you eat for breakfast today, Spiegel?
What did I have for breakfast?
Yeah.
I had raisin.
This is what this show has turned into.
Yeah. I had Raisin Bran for breakfast. So
Raisin Bran.
with some milk, with some nice 2% milk, and it was delicious. And there were a lot of raisins, and there was a lot of bran.
2 scoops.
And then I finished it, and then my cat came over and licked the bowl. So I'm not going to be eating out of that bowl again today.
I would totally eat out of it. Even if a dog licked the bowl clean, I'd pour another bowl.
I feel like every show now is just the first 3 minutes. It's just me complaining about how bad the show is, and then we talk about other stuff, and the show gets better. So
yeah, this show is great.
Have, after you cleaned up your kitchen, what did you have for breakfast officially? We didn't talk about this.
I had eggs over easy with some toast on the side, and it was good.
It's way too fancy. I can't make all that food.
I was too lazy for the breakfast sausage today. Or bacon. I have bacon and breakfast sausage that I need to make, and I don't know. Even though bacon gives you cancer now.
Oh, it does now?
Does coffee
still
give me the
still give you cancer?
Give me the cancer. I may as well just start picking up smoking because everything apparently gives you cancer. So, and then I'll have that nice, perfect voice for radio, right?
Hi, everybody, welcome to Effortless. I'm your host, Mr. Piddle. So yeah, but I wanted to talk about. I don't know how we got.
You wanted to talk about.
I wanted to talk about breakfast cereals.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I did have cereal, it would have been Honey Nut Cheerios because that's all I have right now.
Yeah, I have some Honey Nut Cheerios. I also have Apple Jacks, which actually are not Apple Jacks. They're actually called
They're the multi-meal version.
I'm looking at my cabinet right now from my sofa, but it's the it's the multi-meal. They're called Apple Zings is what they're called. And Apple Zings. Apple Zings. But these Apple Zings, they're actually quite good. And they got me thinking, nobody really talks about Apple Jacks as a cereal that they really like to eat. Everyone talks about like Rice Krispies and, and Honey Nut Cheerios and Captain Crunch and, Cocoa Puffs, right? But nobody ever talks about Apple Jacks. And it got me to thinking, what are some of the best underrated breakfast cereals? Yeah, and go.
Basic 4.
So for those of us who have never heard of Basic 4, what is Basic 4? You showed me this for the first time today, and I was intrigued.
It is a healthy kind of cereal, or sort of, as that's what they sort of advertise it as. And it has like cornflakes in it. It has like almond slivers in it. It has, I believe, some fruit, and I think it has like craisins in it, if I recall correctly. And man, craisins are the best.
I'm not a fan of the craisin. I don't like cranberries.
Oh, but craisins are completely different because they just douse them in sugar, so it tastes so much better. It's not all sour and tart. And then
did not know that.
And then it also has and this is what I think totally makes it come together as a cereal. It has these little sort of honey clusters that are coated in like a sort of yogurt kind of material,
Oh, that sounds so good.
and that just brings it all together, and it tastes absolutely delicious for a healthy kind of cereal. So that's my biggest underrated cereal. Good luck finding it in your grocery store.
Yeah. I would say that Apple Jacks is probably my favorite underrated cereal just because nobody really talks about it. But I hadn't really been thinking about any others. I always really liked the have you ever had chocolate checks?
I believe so. No,
So
no, no, I
Chex
haven't. I just get the regular checks.
Chex as a cereal is fantastic, right? You can also find it in like trail mix and it's delicious.
Yeah.
But then at the same time they also have this like kind of weird offshoot type stuff. They've got the cinnamon Chex, they've got the chocolate Chex, and the chocolate Chex is spectacular. Highly recommended. I eat like 15 bowls of that a day.
Never
And then,
had it.
yeah,
I don't
and then I
think.
gained 50 pounds. But anyway, that's my underrated cereal because you've never heard of it, so it's underrated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other one that I told you about earlier was Blueberry Morning.
Blueberry morning. It sounds like a disease.
It's so good. So good.
It's like, oh, how was your night? Oh, my night was pretty good, but I really had a blueberry morning.
Like, I don't know. Now it
I
sounds a
don't know.
little sexual.
Jeez. Well, welcome to Effortless, the show that used to be a family show and now is strictly for adults.
No longer a family
Yeah.
show.
Well, you know what? It's like the Harry Potter books. Kids grew up with us and now they're ready to be more mature.
Blueberry Morning is really, I don't know. It's sort of similar to Basic Four, I guess. I mean, it has dried blueberries in it, but then it has like the cornflakes, and then some, again, like honey clusters. And oh man, I don't know what it is about like those honey nut clusters that they, or like oat husk clusters that they put in cereal, but it's so good. Like Honey Bunches of Oats, absolutely love it.
It just works with the milk, and the texture of it just works
Yep.
so perfectly. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
How good it is.
And it's just that little bit of sweetness and crunchiness, and oh man, so good.
So we need to talk about the games that we beat, right?
Nah, not this
I mean,
week.
we don't really have anything else to talk about. It's going to be cereal, it's going to be 52, and that's it. That's the show.
Okay, when I think about cereals, and I always think of the cereals that just died and disappeared, like Waffle Crisp. What happened to Waffle Crisp?
Waffle Crisp was amazing. I remember that.
It was so sugary. Oh my gosh.
They almost stopped making honeycomb too. That almost went away, and honeycomb is great.
Oh really? I really liked honeycomb for the longest time.
Yeah, but we're not like 4 years old anymore, so we can't justify eating those cereals.
Yeah, and
unfortunately,
honeycomb when it got stale was so disgusting.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
Oh, it was like the worst cereal when it comes to getting stale.
But regarding staleness, I never minded eating like stale potato chips or like flat soda. Like I wouldn't mind drinking flat soda, but stale cereal always really bothers me for some reason. I don't know why.
You got to make sure it's fresh. Another cereal that I think of is Oreo O's. I don't know if those still exist anymore.
What is that?
Oreo O's?
It's probably exactly what it sounds like.
It's Cheerios, but instead of Cheerios, it's Oreo.
You know what that reminds me of the frickin' like in the early 2000s they did all those Captain Crunch shoot-offs where they did like, oh, it's frickin' chocolate donut Captain Crunch.
Hey, they still have all those, don't they?
Do they?
They still have Captain Crunch, and then they have Oops All Berries, and then I think they have the Peanut Butter Crunch, which is really good. I like the Peanut Butter Crunch. So I think
Peanut Butter Crunch is fantastic.
I think
That's
all the
one
Captain
of my favorite
Crunch
cereals.
stuff still exists.
And as far as Oops All Berries goes, that has to be a pretty big mistake. Like I hope the guy who did that got fired.
Nope. Promotion.
Oops. Like he got promoted. He got promoted to upper management, just like all the upper management types.
A cereal that doesn't exist that I wish existed is chocolate frosted sugar bombs.
Oh, from Calvin and Hobbes?
From Calvin and Hobbes. Like just
Very
the
nice.
sound of that. Just the sound of it just sounds so good for the child at heart.
What was the name of the cereal in Fallout again? Because that always sounded good to me.
Ooh, I can't remember. Couldn't tell you. You'd have to look that one up.
I'm gonna look it up right now. You keep talking.
Okay, so moving on from underrated cereals, or cereals in general, I don't have anything else to add.
Sugar bombs.
Sugar bombs?
Sugar bombs.
Just sugar bombs. So they,
just regular sugar bombs, not chocolate frosted sugar bombs.
See, they should have kept the chocolate frosted part. Oh, why wouldn't you want it coated in chocolate?
I think the estate of Bill Watterson would have demanded some a payout for that.
I'm actually sort of surprised because, yeah, he's very, I don't know if you could really say controlling about his property. I mean, he should be.
I would say that he is, because we still don't have a legitimate licensed Hobbs plush doll.
There's no licensed anything for Calvin and Hobbes.
Except for that frickin' sticker that people put on the back of their truck, which is like
But
Calvin
it's not
peeing
licensed.
on the Cowboys logo.
It's not a licensed sticker. I don't know who made those, but man, they've been getting away with one for quite a while.
Yeah, and it's stupid too. It's like the stupidest licensed product I can think of.
Hot Topic would be so
Calvin's
thrilled.
Not a bad guy. He's not a bad kid.
No,
he wouldn't pee on somebody's grave.
No,
you know?
He only pees out the window in order to avoid getting eaten by the monsters under his bed in the middle of the night. So that's not bad at all.
No, that's just, I mean,
that's just survival.
If it happens to hit someone on the way out, it's not his fault. or land on the grave in his backyard. That's not what's on the sticker. Anyway.
That is such a good show. But yeah, if licensing ever existed for that, Hot Topic would be thrilled, because then it'd just be a Calvin and Hobbes and Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise, and that's all Hot Topic would ever carry ever again.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed this, but GameStop has become kind of like a Hot Topic that sells video games. Have you been in there lately?
I think I was a little while ago.
Did you see all the collectible Star Wars stuff they had
just
all over the place?
Yeah.
They are selling just junk now. It's great. I kind of like it.
Well, all these game companies are trying to go digital on them, so they got to sell something.
They got to do something, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see the way that these retailers react, especially video game specific ones like Game in the UK and GameStop here. I think there's other ones too, but I can't.
I'm actually sort of surprised that they don't have more gaming related T-shirts at GameStop.
I don't think the T-shirts sell very well, because whenever I go in there, they're just always there. I've never seen anyone buy one when I'm in there, so I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah.
Who knows? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it could work, possibly. Who knows? They'd have to start giving them out first with your pre-orders. All right, so moving on, we are in our second week of 52 games in 52 weeks.
Not too late to join us, folks.
Definitely not too late. I mean, what? We're recording this 12 days in.
You probably already beat a game this week, or last week, so you can count that one and then just join up with us,
You can remember what you've beaten in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, just count it.
And if you
join in with us, beat 52 games.
If
Clear
you can't
your
beat 52, try 26.
Yeah, just beat some games. That's the whole point of this thing. We're not trying to
clear out your backlog.
Some people on our last video were like, "Well, I don't really have time to do 52." Don't do 52. Just do as many as you can and just play along with us, because it's more fun that way. And just tell us what you're playing in the comments. What are you playing? What's your impression of it? Give it a score. Just stop being freaking lazy and having excuses for everything. I'm tired of excuses.
So, I know you've only beaten
I have a
one
lot
game.
of rage inside.
I know you've only beaten one game.
I'm so angry.
Tell me what game that is.
What did you say? I'm busy raging over here.
Well, calm down for a second. Take a deep breath and tell us about the whole one game that you beat.
Oh, shut up.
This last
week. I'm busy, Piddle. I don't have time for this. I played and beat Rock Band on the Xbox 360. Played through the entire career, the solo career mode. Beat all the songs on Expert, thank you. It's been 5 years, have not lost a step. I am still amazing at Rock Band, and I'm very pleased about it.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I would love to show you all my skills.
Well, you
someday.
should be good at it. Don't you play an instrument?
I do play bass in real life. I find that It doesn't help as much as you would think, but it's interesting because now I'm better at certain things in the game that I didn't used to be very good at. I'm really good at moving my fingers between like power chords now when I play guitar on Rock Band.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting like how much better I am at that than I used to be. So I would argue that I'm actually better now than I used to be at Rock Band. But
And I have no sense of rhythm, so when I try to play those games, I do okay, and then it all falls apart.
well, you can be the singer when you come visit.
Mm.
Everyone wants to be the singer.
Ugh.
So I've been playing Rock Band. The set list in the first game is okay. It's not very long. It's got a lot of like random obscure tracks from bands that are created by the members of the Harmonix dev team. So there's a lot of really shoddy songwriting in there, but there's some good stuff, but a lot of it's just crap.
That's unfortunate.
The classic rock songs are freaking awesome. Like Don't Fear the Reapers in the game, Paranoid. What else? I don't know. Orange Crush by REM's in the game, which is a really cool song. Go check out the Rock Band track list, people. If you're like into music and you haven't heard some of those songs, go listen to them because there's a lot of classics. I wouldn't say they're all very fun to play on guitar, and I'm mostly playing guitar. They really went for like the whole band dynamic, and they didn't realize that everybody mostly still wanted to play guitar. So they picked a lot of songs that are fun on drums, but nobody really wanted to play drums. I think everyone still wanted to play guitar.
The drums is sort of fun.
I never really got good at them, so I was just like, I have good rhythm, but I can't actually play drums. So I never really got good at especially not with the kick pedal. I can't move my feet and my hands at the same time.
Yeah,
apparently.
it's the pedal just always throws me off when I try to use it with those drums and Guitar Hero, I should say.
Yeah. But anyway, so I completed the solo campaign, and it was a lot of fun. I'm gonna move all those songs over to Rock Band 2, which I just bought yesterday for like $10. So I'm gonna have all the songs in one game, and then I'm gonna move all those over to Rock Band 3, and then I'm gonna buy a crap ton of DLC just because I feel like wasting all my money on DLC for Rock Band. I want to bring it back. I want my friends to come over and be like, "Let's play Rock Band," just like they did 5 years ago when I had more friends.
Yep. It's still a ton of fun. It's just like the luster of something new has faded.
Yeah, it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity. After you play it a couple times with the same people, it's like, okay, let's do something else, you know?
Yep.
But Rock Band is, as a whole, it's not like
or
it
the
stopped.
Wii.
It's not like it stopped being fun. It's just that it stopped having that newness and that uniqueness because everybody had it, everybody played it, everybody knew everything. But now that it's kind of come back, it's kind of back in my consciousness, and I remember how much fun I used to have with it. Rock Band as a game is still very good. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. It's just too short, and some of the songs just aren't very fun. But a lot of the songs are great, and it's still a really enjoyable party game. So 4 out of 5.
All right.
That's the game I beat.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So I played and beat 3 games over the last week, I guess. Some of them were already in progress.
None of them are replays, right?
None of them are replays. Yeah, 0. And the first one that I beat was Pikmin 3. So, I forgot who suggested that I play it last week.
I think it was Nintendo Nerd.
Yeah, you're right. Nintendo Nerd suggested that I play Pikmin 3.
My favorite Twitter follower, by the way. Thank you for retweeting me. Well, that's not true. I like all of my Twitter followers.
So
equally.
Sorry, Nintendo Nerd. I was already working on Pikmin 3 because it is a great game. I had a hard time getting into it at first. It just seemed it intimidated me. I'll be honest. The game intimidated me. And it's sort of always been that way with the Pikmin games. Like, getting to a new area in the first Pikmin game, like the water area, just freaked me out because it just seemed so big and I had no idea where to go and was afraid of getting lost. So that was my biggest problem with Pikmin 3. But the deeper I got into the game, the more comfortable I became with it. And I really like that you can switch between the members and tell them to go here and then do something else.
It's so fantastic that you can make them go somewhere while you're doing something. And the gamepad is just perfect for that.
I know some people complain that, or some reviewers complain that there's still 100 Pikmin limit, but you really don't need any more than 100. So
if you need more than 100, you're trying to do too much. Like I don't know why you would ever need more than that.
Yeah, you don't need 100. You can have 3 different characters running around with 30 Pikmin each, and that's more than enough to handle things. So I really like that. Yeah, the changing the characters. I wish that I had more time and I wasn't doing 52-52 because it seems like a great game to speedrun. I'd love to see a speed run done on that game. I'd love to see how people manage all the different characters and like using the go here command and
Yeah, that'd be
all of
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
So man, awesome games done quick just finished up this last week. They were running from the January 3rd until the 10th, and there was some good stuff there. They need to do Pikmin 3 in the future.
I still have to do that video game marathon where I play for 24 straight hours for charity, and I make people donate to charity for me while I play video games for 24 hours.
I don't know if I could do it for that long.
I would like to try. I think it would be fun. We'll see. But as far as Pikmin 3 goes, did you like the story? I thought the story was really, really interesting, and I've never really said that about a Pikmin game before.
Actually, yes. The way that it is presented, the way you can like check in with the team members on the spaceship and they give you their thoughts and everything about what they found, I found that really interesting. The way it connects with Captain...
You don't want to give too much away.
Just the way it connects with everything. I really liked it.
I will say this. I like the way that when the game finally, or when the story finally opens up, the story is being told from two different perspectives, kind of.
Yeah.
You look at the original, the perspective from the original games, and then this new perspective, which is we're just trying to survive. And like and then you look at it like, well, in Pikmin 2, they were just trying to make money off the Pikmin planet, but these guys like are just trying to like save their planet. And it was just interesting the approach that each team took to achieving their means and what that meant in the end for the actual Pikmin planet, which I think sets up really well for a Pikmin 4, where you could potentially
I would
have
really
like
a Pikmin 4 now.
This space war epic where like all the planets are like at war with each other over the commodities on this planet. I think that would be really cool.
I would love that. Just absolutely love it.
Yeah. So I think I looked at your score. I think you've underrated Pikmin 3, but what's your score for it?
I gave it a 4 out of 5. What I'll say is I think it's really hard. I struggled with this one. I sort of wanted to give it a 5 out of 5 because for what it is, I feel like it's almost perfect. And normally when I feel like something's almost perfect and like as good as it can get, that like it deserves a 5 out of 5. And with Pikmin 3, the reason I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 is because I actually feel like it could have introduced things a little bit slower. I actually, even though there's plenty to collect, I wish it had a little bit more in terms of collecting. So yeah, that's about it. I did like how it had all the story. I just felt like it could have done a little bit more with exploration and collecting objects. That's all.
Yeah.
And having hidden objects. I really liked some of the hidden objects that I found. I thought it was sort of cool, or hidden in plain sight kind of objects. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I can say about Pikmin 3. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on it.
I think I talked about Pikmin 3 when I counted down my top 50. It's going to be in there again. You've inspired me to replay it. It's technically still on my backlog because I haven't finished all the DLC that I bought for it in the challenge mode. Have you tried the challenge mode yet or no?
I have not done the challenge mode, and I
go back
don't
and try
think
the
I'm
challenge
going
mode
to.
a little bit. You're ahead. You can try some challenge mode. See what you think.
I'm ahead for other reasons though.
All right. Well, what else did you play this week?
So I also finished Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy for the Nintendo 3DS, and it is just
This is one of Zyber's favorite games, right? Just to be clear,
Is it?
Because he likes bad games apparently.
it's a rhythm game, like sort of like Elite Beat Agents, where you sort of tap the screen or like hold your stylus on the screen depending on where the game is in a song. You can swipe in different directions, in all eight directions. If there's an arrow that indicates that you're supposed to swipe at that moment in the song.
Yeah.
And all the levels supposedly play a little bit differently, but they really sort of just play the same. It's just like how your eyes have to process the information is a little bit differently. And I don't know. It's a game that has some good parts to it. I enjoy, like, the songs they're good songs. Final Fantasy has a lot of great music to it. And the rhythm gameplay it's as satisfying as any other rhythm gameplay, I feel like. But the issue is everything else about the game, for me, was just deplorable. I couldn't stand the rest of the game. It is a game that is really designed for someone who wants to play it for hours and hours and hours and hours on end.
Well, you say on end, but I think it's more designed to be more of a handheld type game, you know?
Maybe. I just sort of usually played it like laying down in bed before I was going to go to sleep is when I usually played it. And the issue is so you can level up your characters as you play. You can unlock more characters as you play. There's a bunch of different items that you can collect, I guess, as you play. The items really just sort of help you get through levels if like levels are really difficult for you. The issues are there's the difficulty from the very beginning is set to the easiest difficulty when you first start playing. So for anybody with any experience
so even
whatsoever,
if you're a rhythm game pro, like if you can like perfect Persona 4 Dancing All Night on extreme or whatever, you're still stuck on easy.
Yep, you're gonna just suffer through the first several hours of the game just so you can unlock more, just so you can finally unlock a challenge mode for each song. And then finally, after you after you beat all the expert scores on the challenge mode, then you'll finally be able to play through the quest mode again with harder songs rather than just like the basic scores.
Dreadful.
So that right there brought the game down a ton for me because I'm playing through and it's just insufferably easy to get through the first parts. Like I'm in no danger of failing a song. You would have to have like zero rhythm, have never played any rhythm game. I mean, come on. What year is it? Like the game came out in what, 2012?
Not sure.
2013, something like that. But like we had already had years of rhythm games to play and experience. So there's that right there. That it forces you down this corridor of easy gameplay first before you can sort of play to your ability level. That's just bad gameplay design. I feel like, unless it's like a Mario game where it progressively gets harder as you go from one world to the next. So there's that. Then there's the matter of unlocking new characters. Every new character you unlock, you need to collect as you play the game. You need to collect these different colored shards, and you might get one shard for beating a level and doing it like perfectly.
Right.
But again, there's all sorts of different colors of these shards to collect, and each different color, after you collect 8 of that color, unlocks a different character. So you feel like you're not even progressing in the game as you play it because it's like, okay, yay, I collected a shard. There's one. I finally collected another shard, and there's one of a different color, and another shard, but it's a different color. So you can see what I'm getting at. It feels like you're not actually unlocking anything because you're not. And another thing is, it's easier to beat more enemies, collect more items and shards if you level up your characters. Well, leveling up your characters takes forever in this game. And when you do level them up, their stats increase by such a marginal amount that like your characters are still incredibly weak. So you really have to stick with a party for it. You need to pick those characters and stick with them. So even if
Yeah.
I did finally unlock new characters, I'm not going to want to use them because they're going to be weak. Why would I want to use weak characters when I'm trying to unlock more content?
The thing you're describing to me, and I mentioned this earlier, is it sounds a lot like Hyrule Warriors on Wii U, where you're basically doing the exact same thing in terms of unlocking new characters. They're really weak to start out with, and it takes forever to level them up, and then the level increase is marginal. So I mean, I don't know. It might just be one of those like long play type of games where you just play it for like years until you're done with it.
And yeah,
just a little bit at a time.
Here comes the biggest issue. If it is a game where it's going to be a long play kind of game, it needs to have a lot of variety in the actual gameplay so that you want to keep playing it. That is not the case with this game. There are over 70 songs in this game. Everything from Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 13. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It has songs from those games. It only has 4 songs from each of those games. One is or 2 songs are either the intro or the outro for those games. So like the beginning song, usually the general Final Fantasy riff, not rift. And then those are all similar. You know that. Every Final Fantasy intro song is like the same. I forget what word is used for that kind of like progression in the scales as it goes through. So they're all pretty much the same. Then you have the ending song, which is different. But those levels of those games are not like the other rhythm parts of the game. It's just all you do is tap. You don't have to hold it down. You don't have to swipe in a different direction. So they're really easy. You don't fail those songs. All you do is like for every single time that you tap to the right rhythm or note, you collect these things called rhythmia, and I can't even remember what rhythmia unlock. I think it gives you more shards if you collect enough of them, but it's just insufferably boring to just tap.
Bottom line, game is bad.
Hey,
just don't bother.
I'm not done. So that pretty much leaves, since you don't want to, you can skip the intro song and the outro song, thankfully. So pretty much every single time I got to the intros and the outros, I just skipped it. But that leaves you with 3 songs for every Final Fantasy game. Sorry, there's a battle music, there's a field music, and then there's an event music, which plays like a video in the background as you do the level. So 3 songs for every game. That leaves you with 39 different songs. Each of them take maybe 2.5 minutes to play through. That's not enough content. You are going to get sick of hearing these songs over and over and over again because it's going to be the same songs over and over again. And again, that's the issue, is a game that wants you to spend a lot of time in order to unlock everything, to play for an extended period of time, it needs to have variety. And when you're playing the same songs over and over again, and they're only a couple minutes long, it's just not a good experience. So, with that said, Theatrhythm Final Fantasy, I give you a 2 out of 5. Just not a good game. I am playing its sequel right now, Theatrhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call. It is way better. I'll talk about it when I finally beat it. But yeah, this one, a 2 out of 5. It's just awful.
I'm surprised you were willing to give the second one a chance, given the badness of the first one. Or is that just like a situation where you bought them both at the same time because you're an idiot like me?
I bought them both at the same time because Square Enix was having a sale, and on their website, and a lot of their stuff was really, really cheap. So I wanted to get it, but I still had to pay for shipping. So I was like, so I just, you know what? I'm just going to buy more stuff so that the cost of shipping doesn't really make this not worth it.
That's
what
you.
I did. Yeah. And the first Theatrhythm is just, it's not a good game. I'm really shocked at the scores it received when it came out, because the second one is pretty much better in every way. And the only reason I'm really giving it a shot is because I looked at, I read the back of the box, and instead of just 70 songs, it has over 200 songs. So I'm like, oh my goodness, thank God it has over 200 songs. That's going to be so much more variety. I mean, what is that like? If each song is about 3 minutes long, 2 to 3 minutes long, we'll just say
couple
3.
hours.
That's
a few hours worth of music.
Yeah, 400 to 600 minutes of music. That's plenty of music to listen to, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised that 3DS Cart can hold that much.
Yeah, me too.
But it is what it is.
That's it.
All right.
I have one more game.
We talked about this forever. So your next one better be good because we spent like 15 minutes on Theater Rhythm.
Well, I'm just making sure
nuts.
that none of you ever play Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy. I'm sorry.
You've made sure I'm never going to play it. I'll tell you that right now.
Don't play it. Don't play it. It's a bad game. Other game I beat, third game is Splatoon for the Wii U.
Yes.
Man, I'm so glad that I fixed my gamepad. Have I told you that?
Well, you've played Pikmin 3 and Splatoon so far, so
yes.
I'd say you should be pretty happy. Yeah.
And actually Super Mario World I played on my Wii U gamepad too, so.
So basically you're on a Nintendo kick right now because you fixed your gamepad and Nintendo makes better games than anybody else. You've been so deprived for so long. I don't know how you did it.
I don't know either because
you went how long did you go without playing a Nintendo game? Like on Wii U?
Oh. I played some Wii games on my Wii U. Like I played through Metroid Prime Trilogy again.
It's too long.
And you remember Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition I played through recently.
right.
So that's essentially the extent of my gaming. Tropical Freeze you didn't need a gamepad for, so there was also that. But yeah, I've missed my Wii U gamepad.
Though, one of my favorite games of all time.
Splatoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is so good.
And you see why.
It is just something completely fresh and new. There's nothing else like it out there in terms of a multiplayer shooter game. Sorry, everyone, we had some technical difficulties there. And then we had more technical difficulties.
And then we had more technical difficulties. This is like the most frustrating episode to record ever. So you better frickin' enjoy it. I have so much rage inside my heart.
Well, you need to play some more Splatoon.
I do, so I can rage more. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
We have no idea what you've heard and what you haven't heard, honestly. So, bottom line, you like the game, right? It's great.
Well, okay, so the only other thing I wanted to say, and I know we didn't really cover this, is what I like about Splatoon is just how Nintendo added so much to the simple concept of just covering the walls in ink. And that
Not the walls. Never get the walls.
Yeah, don't get the walls, by the way.
Pointless.
Don't get the walls. They don't give you any points.
It's misleading. They're like, splat the walls. Don't splat the walls. Never splat the walls.
Yeah, I started by just getting the ground, and then I started, oh, well, nobody's shooting the walls. I'll get the walls. And then I was wondering why my score was worse. And it was, oh, wait, because getting the walls is pointless. But just the way how when you get paint on the ground, you can turn into a squid, and when you're a squid in your own ink, you are pretty much invisible unless you're moving. 2, you move faster when you're in your own ink. You jump farther. So just those little details. You can go up walls when you're in squid form.
That's the only reason you would ever splat the walls.
Yeah. Those details just that's stuff that's not really in other kind of shooter games that I can think of, and it's
a really weird Nintendo-y physics system, isn't it? It's really cool.
And then you also have how you can use the gamepad to quickly jump to your teammates. That's not in other games. Not that usually helps you. You have to
in fact, whenever I jump to you, you always die, and then I always die.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Yep, you're welcome. I'm not good at the game, by the way.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
I had mentioned earlier, by the way, and I want to bring this up again because I think I want to actually do it. I want to record. I want you to see how mad I get when I play Splatoon with the regular people who play it on Turf War, and we're gonna play a match at the end of this show. We'll take the audio from it and we'll put it in the end of the show.
I'm so bad.
You can listen to how mad we get.
So I've done ranked and I've gotten up to B plus, but I just moved back down to B because I couldn't maintain my B plus ranking because I just started to be even worse at the game. And in terms of that, I just want to be done with the game because I'm so frustrated with it right now.
Yeah.
I
No,
lost
you know
so
what?
many games in a row, and it's like the worst when I like at the beginning of a match, I like do this push and I feel like we get really close to winning the match. And then we don't win the match. The match goes on for like the next 3 minutes. We make no progress. And then like the last 30 seconds, the other team somehow mounts this furious comeback and like gets further than my team did and we lose. It's horrible. There was one game yesterday that we lost a ranked match despite getting I think it was Rainmaker, and we brought the Rainmaker within like just a few feet of the goal, and we somehow lost in like the last 10 seconds, and the kill counts were like way off. We killed them like every 2 times they killed us, we killed them 3 times. It was just unbelievable that we lost. I don't even know how it happens like that.
Yeah. So I definitely want to include the Splatoon audio because I want to capture that rage and that that just complete utter befuddlement that you can't win a match that you should win.
It is the first time that yesterday was the first time that I rage quit because like after I kept losing for like an hour straight, eventually I just in the middle of a match I just turned off the system. I was so done.
In June, when I worked for my former employer, I'm not gonna say their name because I don't want to drag them through the mud, but I had worked at this fast food place, and every day I would come home just angry because the job sucked, and I was playing Splatoon, and I kept losing, and I just kept getting madder and madder, and eventually I like threw my gamepad, which I never throw things, and I threw the gamepad, and I was like, I'm done. And for a while I was afraid that it was broken. I didn't go over and look at it because I thought it was broken, but it was fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I almost felt like I was gonna break my gamepad and be without a gamepad again yesterday because I wasn't good. I was horrible.
Yeah, I get I'm a terrible loser, right? And I don't like losing, and especially not when it's not my fault. That makes me more mad than probably anything.
So, I gave Splatoon a 4 out of 5. Really, my only complaints are that the map rotations are only 2 maps. I mean,
oh god, it's balls, isn't it? It's terrible.
In a way, I like it, but at the same time, I hate it. I think it's horrible, and I think it needs 3 maps in the rotation, not 2.
I just don't understand why they couldn't do a voting system. Like, even if they wanted to limit it to like 4 maps, like why couldn't it just be a vote?
I'm actually glad that it's not 4 maps, or that it's not a voting system. I don't know. I just sort of like having to play what they give you. But the issue is like you can just sort of get screwed and just end up playing like the same map over and over and over again.
Yeah, like at one point they had debuted a new map, right? And I think it was like 8 matches on the same one before I played the new one. I was like, why am I doing this? It's just asinine.
Yeah. I didn't consider the game beaten until I got to level 20 and I beat the entire single player. I think I'm sitting at level 24 or 25 right now.
Yeah, and you hated the single player. Why is that? Just briefly. You got on the single player.
There's a lot of good things to the single player. Just for whatever reason, I didn't really like it.
It reminded me of Super Mario Galaxy, which I know is a really common comparison, but that's what it reminded me of.
But I mean, it has a lot of good concepts. They really utilize the gameplay mechanics well in it. You only get one weapon, but whatever. It sort of needed to be that way because they designed the gameplay around one weapon. Boss fights. You're right about the last boss fight. The last boss fight is pretty hard comparatively. I did beat it on my first try.
Yeah, the difficulty spike is just insane. It doesn't make any sense.
I did beat it on my first try, but it is just nuts how difficult it gets. I'm still not used to aiming with the gyro controls, or that's about it. I mean, it could have more. I still think the game is a huge missed opportunity for Nintendo to make buttloads of money because,
Marketing wise, yeah.
well, marketing wise and with, I'm really glad that you can buy all the clothes in the game with the in-game currency, but I feel like they should have given you what's in the game, and then they should add more clothing and whatnot through downloadable content. And I feel like the game would just
screw you. Screw you. We talked about it. No.
Cash cow. I know you
No.
hate me for saying
I
that.
do hate you for saying that. How dare you suggest that after the conversation we had just last week?
I know.
I can't
believe you
this.
hate me for saying that. I feel like there's so many missed opportunities with merchandising, with just downloading different character skins. I don't have a big issue with downloading different character skins as long as the base features that are there is enough to satisfy most people.
I don't either, but I want everything. That's the problem. I'm trying to buy all the gear and all the clothes in the game, and if they added DLC, I'd just be wasting more money. I'm already throwing money away on Rock Band. I don't need to be throwing money away in Splatoon too.
Well, that's your problem then.
Oh, man, jeez. Okay. All right, so that's the show. I don't know. I don't really.
We have more to talk about.
Do we have to talk about the last thing? Do we have time?
We totally do.
All right.
We have 15 minutes at least.
Well, let's not go 80 minutes again next week. That was hell to edit. That was really hard to edit. And I know it's called Effortless, but I really have to put a couple hours into editing this stupid show every week, so But
you like listening to it, so
I do like listening to us talk. It's a lot of fun for me. So
everyone thank Spigel for doing all that hard work. Sorry, my coffee maker's going off in the background.
I thought I heard something.
But
man, this show has overcome so much adversity. Not this show, but this episode. We had garbage trucks, we have cats fighting, jets are flying everywhere, coffee machines going off, my microphone becomes unplugged, just oh man, so many factors working against us.
Let's talk about the last
thing. But we've persevered.
The NX. We love talking about the NX.
Yeah, it's 2016. Where's my NX news, Nintendo?
And that's why we're talking about it right now, right? Because we're 2 weeks into the new year, and there's nothing that's been revealed about the NX.
Time for meaningless speculation. The best part of every NX discussion.
Nah, we're not going to speculate. We're just going to say what we wish the NX will have.
So an NX wish list of sorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, none of our wishes will come true. But
right, they're going to do the opposite of what we want, just like they always do. But
yeah.
But somehow we will remain fans anyway. So what should we start with? Do you want to do specs, or do you want to do games?
Let's do it. Specs.
Okay.
Specifications for the system. What do you want, Spiegel?
To be clear, I don't really know anything when it comes to specs. I don't know what the names of the processors are, or what RAM is. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm not smart.
They are using AMD for their graphics card manufacturer, I believe.
Okay, that's great. That means literally nothing to me. Here's what I want. I want a console that can compete with the current generation of consoles technically, with graphically and all that stuff. So that people will actually buy it. I don't personally care, but I want the console to be successful, especially because I'm probably going to start investing in Nintendo in a couple of weeks here. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to become an investor. So I want it to sell well, obviously. So I think that is a requirement. And I would love it if they went away from discs and they went back to cartridges, because I feel like cartridges are a lot cheaper to manufacture. I don't feel like this console needs to be the center of your media life. Why does it need to be that? We already have the Xbox One and the PS4, which are bloated and overloaded with media type stuff that aren't games. I want a game console that I put a cartridge in, I turn it on, and I'm playing a game. Or alternatively, if there's no cartridge in it, it goes to the menu and I can look at stuff. I can go on the shop and I can download games digitally. That's what I want. I want cartridges again.
So I'm curious if they use sort of a flash type of media. Would that really would they be able to get around the issues of load times with it? Because that would be awesome if they sort of went with flash based media cartridge type of solution, which the DS and the 3DS use.
And
And
also, real quick, just to cover my bases, this is part of the issue of me not being very tech savvy. Is I'm not even sure if it can compete graphically and still be on a flash based cartridge. Can it? Do you know? Is that possible, or is that just a stupid contradiction in
I
my
think they
argument?
could.
Okay. Well, if they can, then that's my argument. And if they can get around load times, that would be even better. And if they can get around installing the game, that
Yeah,
would be even more
that's
fantastic.
what I'm thinking.
Because
Like,
screw that. I hate game installs.
I would love it if the system got rid of the game installs. So if we're talking about specifications, we're really just talking about everything already. But for me, the graphics card or the processor, whatever they use, I want it to be powerful enough where all the games that are coming out on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, if they are ported to the Wii, or sorry, not the Wii U, to the NX, those games will not have the frame rate problems or the image quality problems that the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 have. It is very, very difficult to find games on those systems that do not have frame rate issues. Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. We are in this next generation. The graphics, other than physically based rendering, don't really look that much better than the last generation. And frame rates are still, like, the frame rates of these games are still struggling to hold just 30 frames per second, which should be the bare minimum, if you ask me. I was really hoping for a generation of 60 frame per second games. So that's number one. I want something that's strong enough to do that. And I feel like they can do that for an affordable price right now. If we can avoid hard drives or just have external hard drives only, I'd be completely fine with it.
No, I feel like it has
But
to have like a 500 gigabyte hard drive in order to download the game.
yeah,
Because downloading games is becoming huge. I feel like this next console is going to have a big hard drive.
it
has
has
to.
to. I feel
Yeah,
like it does.
That's
But
just the world we live in now.
If we're gonna talk about all my issues with the other systems, one is the install times are horrible. So if we can go to some sort of cartridge based media where install times are almost minimal, or like if you do install something, it's really, really quick, I will take that in an instant, because that is the worst part about the Xbox One. It is not as bad on the PlayStation 4, but it is still an issue. So get rid of it, Nintendo. Get rid of those awful install times. Whatever you can do, get rid of them.
I think it would be really cool if Nintendo could go the other way that these companies have gone. Like, you know how Xbox is like, oh, well, here's the install time and you have to do this. I think it'd be cool if Nintendo went the other way. Oh, you have to pay for internet? Nintendo's going to go the other way. You don't have to pay for internet. So, like, they can just highlight all these fantastic things about their system. And even if they don't have the initial third-party support, just the fact that they're different enough while still being competitive graphics-wise and all that, I think that would make a big difference for them. And it's just a matter of changing the industry's standard for what is acceptable. You know, no season passes with Nintendo. That really isn't a thing. And I feel like they've done the right thing in that
I feel
instance.
Like a combination of free internet and a graphics processor that could run games better than the other systems would really sway a lot of people into getting the NX. A lot of people that would never consider getting it, just because it'll be like, hey, wait a second, I can play Call of Duty for free on this system and it'll look better. Why would I not do this? Especially when we've got all these other premium subscription services from these companies, like your season passes.
Yeah, and they don't even need to win people over. They just need to get someone to say, yeah, I'd rather play this game on this console, and just have Nintendo be that second console again. The reason the Wii was so successful is because half the people bought the 360, half bought the PS3. Everyone bought the Wii, so it worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wii was kind of a joke by the end of its life, but it doesn't have to be that way with NX, and they can still be that second option. Most people want two consoles.
I think they should continue to try to be the first option. And so, again, like, I think if they got rid of install times or minimized them as much as possible, if they made the internet free, but not just free, good. Voice chat, Nintendo, party chat.
I think they will continue to make very slow steps in that direction. I don't think it's
no friend codes. Well, I guess friend codes are gone because we have the Nintendo Network ID now. But like, it needs to be easy to hook up with your friends to play games. I hate trophies, but if Nintendo added trophies to their games, people would just be thrilled. I think that would help their system a lot. I don't know. I feel like these are things that Nintendo just needs to say, look, we are better in a lot of ways, and that's why you need to pick our system over these other systems.
And these are all lessons that I feel like have been learned by Nintendo. I just feel like we haven't seen them in action yet. So we still feel like Nintendo's kind of stuck in the past. But, I mean, how could they action them right now with the Wii U? They can't do a hard system update where, like, they update the entire... Like, it would be a disaster. That wouldn't work. So, like, it's just best for them to release a new console just with all the problems fixed. And I think they can do it. I think it'll be successful. And, I mean, now we're getting into the predictions realm, but I do think the NX is going to be at least moderately successful. More successful than the Xbox One, which is... I don't want to call it a failure, but it's basically a failure, isn't it?
It's dead.
It's not dead. Well, don't say dead. That's ridiculous.
Okay, it is hurting everywhere that is not the United States.
Yeah, it's in trouble outside of the United... Like, yeah, it's dead outside the United States. You can say that.
Yeah, it is essentially a U.S... I mean, it is essentially like the Wonder Swan color of the U.S. Like, Japan, the Wonder Swan color did really well.
I don't even know what is the Wonder Swan color?
It was a portable gaming system around the time of the Game Boy Color, and it was actually very, very successful, but only in Japan, and that's essentially what the Xbox One is turning into. It's turning into something that's like only a US kind of product.
You are like the oldest person I've ever known. The Wonder Swan color, like you're just pulling game systems that never even existed out of thin air. It's amazing. I love it. So back to NX. Let's real quick, last like 5-10 minutes. Let's just do games that we'd like to see come out on NX.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to see a grand return of the Virtual Console, and we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
How like the system they need to have like a as much as I hate to say it, they need a subscription service. They'd make so much money.
Yep.
I don't really want that because I'd prefer to just pick and choose the games that I want and just pay a little extra. But a subscription service would be very lucrative for them. You know, they could bring out all these fantastic games to start out with. Like, hey, look, here's a great game from every console, week one. You know, here's Mario 3, A Link to the Past. You know, Ocarina of Time. I don't know, whatever GameCube game, and just like have all these games.
They could really do it like the PlayStation Plus service, where it's just like every month they roll out more games for the subscription, and you only really keep the games that were part that you previously got in this subscription. I mean, I would hate it, but I would have it. Everybody would have it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate it, but I would buy it for sure. I mean, there's like no question I would buy that.
Yeah, I mean, just say like, hey, like every month you get, I don't know, a Nintendo game, a Super Nintendo game, a Nintendo 64 game, hey, even throw in GameCube and Wii.
And you can stream them all to the portable the portable part of the console, which we also haven't talked about, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you want the portable home thing that keeps getting thrown out there?
My prediction is it's sort of just going to be games run at lesser resolutions.
Kind of like the Vita, right?
Yeah, I think it'll sort of be like the Vita, but I think it'll be a little bit more versatile than the Vita.
Yeah, I think Nintendo might actually be taking a page out of Sony's book and using the Vita streaming ability like as a blueprint for what they're going to do. I think that's very likely. And I think it'll be cool because I really like that the Vita can do that it can stream games from the PS4 on the go. I think that's crazy that it can do that, but it's cool.
And I think there will be benefits to buying digitally because I feel like if you do buy digitally, you'll get titles across both platforms, and that would be good for Nintendo just from the, companies save so much money when you buy digitally. Like, they get all that money. The retailers don't get that money.
They don't have to produce anything. They don't have to pay shipping costs. Yeah.
So I could see it actually pushing more towards a digital trend with the system.
Well, especially since retailers are all out on Nintendo. Like if you go into a GameStop, or anywhere really, if you go into these stores, how much space is dedicated to Nintendo stuff? I mean, apart from Best Buy, which has a whole aisle, GameStop has like a little tiny corner of the store where you can find the Wii U and the 3DS games, and like there's no posters or anything of Nintendo stuff. It's all like, buy Halo 5, pre-order Quantum Break. Quantum Break? Really? Anyway, yeah. But oh yeah, back to the thing. So what games do we want again?
Oh no, I am having technical difficulties now.
Are you serious?
Yes.
In what way?
I am having connection issues with you, so.
Are you?
This episode just keeps on chugging
I'm not
along.
I'm not having any problems. Did you hear everything I said?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, we'll just keep all this and we'll figure it out. What
Keep
games? Running. Oh my God! What games do you want to see on NX, Piddle? What do you think a good launch game would be for this thing?
Well, we already know it's going to be Zelda U, right? Or Zelda NX.
I'm so hesitant because like I predicted a long time ago that it would come out on NX. I still think it's going to come out on NX, but is it going to come out on Wii U first? Or I don't freaking know. Like if it just depends so much on whether the NX is backwards compatible with Wii U or not. Because if it is,
I would like to see Zelda U on the NX as a launch title. I would like to see a classic Mario game. My dream would be a real 3D Mario game like Super Mario 64. That won't happen, so I would accept another game in the vein of New Super Mario 3D World. And so that's my prediction. And last prediction is that we'll get a Retro Studios game. I don't know what it would be. I think the best option is a really, really gorgeous looking new Metroid game, like the Metroid Prime games.
Yeah,
I think that's in their best interest. But
I still believe that Retro is working on that Diddy Kong Racing game, that the sequel to Diddy Kong Racing. I still think that's happening. I don't know. There was a leak like 2 years ago that said that Retro Studios was working on Diddy Kong Racing for 3DS, and I still think it's happening. I just think maybe it's gotten moved. We haven't heard anything from Retro forever since Tropical Freeze came out in 2014, and that game was finished in December of 2013. So they've been doing something this whole time. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be something big.
Yeah,
that's why I want to say a Metroid game, because I want to say like it's going to be a really, really good-looking Metroid game.
It's too soon for another Mario Kart. Nintendo's going to need one of those kart racing games. It just seems so appropriate. I don't know. It seems appropriate to me to have Diddy Kong Racing on the NX, but nobody else seems to want to hear that except me. So
no one cares about Diddy Kong Racing.
Except
it's dead.
Me.
Yeah.
It's not dead. It's great. Play
no,
Diddy Kong Racing.
It's dead.
No, you're an idiot.
It's dead, and it would not sell any systems.
I agree. It wouldn't sell any systems. It's not existing to sell systems. The system exists to sell that game. It's like
But that's not what Nintendo needs.
It's like Red Steel when the Wii first came out. That game didn't exist to sell systems. People bought it because it was the only thing that was out.
But Nintendo doesn't need that right now.
But Nintendo doesn't need that when they launch a new system. People are going to buy the new system regardless.
But they need initially the people that don't want the Wii, like that didn't want the Wii U. They need to get people to buy back in. And I feel like if they just come out with games that people just buy just because they get an NX, or the NX is going to fail. It's just going to be the Wii U.
PS4 didn't fail. People are only buying PS4. People are only buying PS4 games because they need something to play on it.
Well, PS4 at least has multi-platform games, I guess.
God, I hate the PS4 so much. I hate it so much.
So Nintendo needs to. They need something to sway these gamers, like the gamers that just buy stuff because it looks cool. They really need something to sway those gamers.
Yeah, I feel like I've done too many predictions and not enough actual like wish list things. So here's my wish list. Okay, I want. Here's what I want: I want Metroid Prime 4 or a new Metroid game.
Yes.
At launch. At launch, I want that and a Mario game at launch.
Yes.
Then after that, in the spring of 2017 or whenever the system comes out or whatever, I want a new Animal Crossing, a fully fledged Animal Crossing game, not Amiibo Festival. I don't want any of that crap.
Yes.
I want Animal Crossing in the spring, and then in the fall or in the summer or whatever, you can release Splatoon 2. I feel like that won't require too long of a development time, and it'll be a great cash grab, and I think it'll be fun. And then in the other big fall game can be a big Pokemon, like the big Pokemon game that everyone's always wanted on console but never gotten, and that's my wish list. And I also want Mother 3 to come out for in English. So that's it.
All right.
That's my wish list.
I would. Oh man, you make me want Splatoon 2 to be a launch title or a launch window title.
I feel like it's too early. I mean, what's launch window, right? Pikmin 3 was launch window. It came out 8 months later. So.
I just feel like everybody asked about Splatoon, and they were asking about if they could get it on their Xbox Ones and their PlayStation 4s. So make it a part, and then they found out it came on the Wii U, and they're like, who wants to buy a brand new system that is like nobody even plays just for that? But if you have a new system,
the logic is astounding.
Yeah, but if you have a new system, ooh, it's something new and shiny. Ooh, it's Splatoon 2. It must be better. And I mean, come on.
The logic again is astounding. So many people come into the store, look, the game store I work at. They're just like, do you have not Left 4 Dead 2? Do you have Gears of War 3? And I'm like, the first one's better, right? They're like, yeah, but this one's newer.
Yeah.
Dead serious. I get that response every time.
And I mean, really, I hate to say it because Nintendo would be doing everything I deplore about these other companies. But really, if they just ported over like the general game mechanics of Splatoon and just up-resed the graphics, made all the models a little bit more detailed, and then threw in all the stuff that I suggested that you hate me for.
But we've talked about it, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that can be improved with the original Splatoon too.
Heck,
so like
Splatoon 2 could be a free title if they really wanted to. People would buy cosmetic upgrades. Like, they would just go crazy.
Are you
over
saying
buying
they should
upgrades.
do Splatoon 2 with microtransactions and it's a free-to-play game? What is wrong with you? This is like everything you're against. I can't even believe we're still doing this show.
Because
who are you and what have you done with Piddle?
With cosmetics. Okay, I'll say the only free-to-play design that I'm really okay with is what like League of Legends does, what Valve does with Counter-Strike Go, what they do with Team Fortress 2. It doesn't get in the way of the gameplay. So Splatoon 2, if you have the gameplay and everything that you buy is cosmetic only, I feel like that would be a huge, huge sell on the NX.
It would have to be the game that they launched with the system.
Yeah.
Because then they wouldn't be losing any money if it was just pre-installed on the system.
Yeah, launch it with the system and then say, hey, free internet, but you're gonna get the people who just can't help buying every cosmetic upgrade they can. I mean, really, all it is right now is it's shoes and a shirt and a hat. Well,
they need pants as an option.
Yeah, throw in pants as an option. Throw in gloves as an option.
Facial hair for the squids. Big squid beard.
You could do skins for the weapons. People would go crazy over it. Hairstyles for your squid. It would just be a huge cash cow, and it's something that they could put on. I mean, like, I'm going to say I almost have this on my wish list because I feel like it would sell the system, and that's what I want for the NX. I want it to succeed.
I also have Smash Brothers quote-unquote Game of the Year edition, the one that came out on Wii U, just with all the DLC and everything like packed into it. I would actually buy that just to support the idea that they're willing to, because at this point, if you put all that stuff together, I think it's like a $99 worth of DLC you could buy for this game with all the Mii costumes and the characters and the stages and all that stuff. So
Can
you're
I just throw
legitimately
something
saving
out
like
there?
$100. Yeah, go ahead.
That's still less than Battlefront 2.
Wait, what?
That's still less than Battlefront 2.
What do you mean Battlefront 2?
Or sorry, just regular Battlefront. Sorry,
Oh,
Battlefront
okay,
2 is
yeah.
going to be worse. But yeah, it's still less than Battlefront.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
So
just in 2 mode because of Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2. They better not call it Splatoon like I've said in the past.
I
That would
really
just
hope
be
not.
stupid. No, it'd be no, no.
I don't think they
So
will.
yeah, end the show. This is enough. I've had enough.
You've had enough.
I've had it. I've had it with you people.
We are done talking about the NX. You guys, you tell us what you want to see from the NX. You can tell us that we're wrong and we're crazy, especially me because
Especially you today.
I actually would love to see a cheaply ported over copy of Splatoon on the NX with microtransactions. That's free to play.
You are so. Oh man, you are inviting so much vitriol and hate in your direction right now. Because
I sure hope
the
so.
whole thing with you has been, oh, we're gonna try to find a mobile game that's good and free, and but oh man, you're not gonna make very many friends this
again.
week.
The thing is, it's like mobile games. There's no depth to them. Splatoon, there is so much depth to it. With the free-to-play method where you're just buying skins and cosmetic wear for your character, that doesn't interfere with the base gameplay. The gameplay can still be deep. It can still just suck you in for hours and hours. It can still be rewarding. You can still have like in-game upgrades for whatever you accomplish in the game and have the cosmetic stuff on the side. It completely works that way. Not booster packs where in order to get these cosmetic upgrades, you have to spend $5 for a small chance at a rare item, which more and more companies are doing these days. I find the practice absolutely
deplorable.
Yeah, it's just unethical. It's gambling.
All right, I have let you make your argument.
That's it.
Yeah,
we're done. Tell us what you want about that, or want for the NX. Specifications, launch games, launch window games. Who cares? Internet. If you want friend codes to make a triumphant comeback on the NX, because I don't know.
Because you're stupid.
I don't know. You're a parent and you really don't want your kids to play or interact with anybody online. I don't know. Just tell us what you want. Tell us what game you played for your 52 out of 52. If you're going to start with us. If you don't want to do 52 games, do 26.
Just do it.
Just do something. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. Unless you want to tell us what cereals you love to eat in the morning.
There's a lot of comment options this week. You guys better go nuts in the comments.
Yeah, I was more active in last week's comment or last episode's
You were.
comment
I liked all your comments.
You were, Spiegel. So
yes,
I have gotten into the mix. I am ready to throw down. Let's do it.
Speaking of throwing down, stay tuned for a very special video, maybe tomorrow, whatever, I don't know, it'll be up, of me talking to Piddle while playing Splatoon, which we're going to do right now, I think.
Hopefully.
Okay. I was going to put it at the end of this episode, but it's already too long, so whatever.
Yeah, we're done. This is Effortless. Less effort than ever.
Oh, yeah. The end.